guys, it's Lotus and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to continue on with our read-along of Erha. But before we jump into it, I just want to remind you guys that our Shizun Danmei Read-Along will be on a temporary hiatus until around March because the translators have taken down the chapters for editing. So it's not the translations are not available for public reading right now. So we cannot continue our read-along until it's back up, which is estimated around March 2022, so in 2 months. So hopefully you guys aren't missing it too much, but we will continue it when it's back up. Yeah, okay. Anyway, now let's jump into our Erha read-along. Okay. Chapter 86. This venerable one's ex-wife isn't low maintenance. ... Ye Wangxi choked visibly at his words, but didn't get mad, instead taking a moment to gather his bearings before saying, "You misunderstood. I'm here on the sect leader's orders to buy something from Xuanyuan Pavilion, not following you." Moran and Chuaning exchanged a glance. The holy weapon. Nan Gongsi swung the jar of wine dangling from his hand, his face darkening even more. "So, my father's asking you to fetch his things for him now, huh? What, do I have no hands or no legs that I can't do it for him?" Si, that's not what I meant." "Who said you could call me that?" Nan Gongsi lowered his brows in a scowl, lightning crackling in his eyes. "Yeah, Gongzi, don't think you can be so impudent with me just because father is blind enough to be friendly with you. Aren't you disgusted by yourself?" "I call you so at the sect leader's behest. If you dislike it, you can bring it up with him." Ye Wangxi paused for a few moments, then said, "What's the point in taking it out on me?" "Don't you use my father against me." Nan Gongzi drew in a breath and forced himself to calm down. There was a cold light in his dark eyes, like a silvery moon in a night sky saturated with beacon smoke. "Ye Gongzi." He seemed to be dragging the word out. "I'm afraid that father told you to call me Si because he had certain misconceptions about your position in the sect, but I'd advise you to know your place. Don't take a mile just because you were given an inch. After all, no matter what kind of facade you put on, you'll never be my equal, by reason of your birth alone." A hint of something dark seemed to flash across Ye Wangxi's refined features. He lowered his thick curtain of lashes and said quietly, "The young master is right, but I have never once thought to be the young master's equal." The change in the form of address made him feel a bit better. Nan Gongsi lifted the jar and downed some of its contents. The wine burned its way down his throat, but he always could hold his liquor. He stared at Ye Wangxi for a while longer, then scoffed and waved a hand. "That's what I thought. Just look at the way you are now. How could you possibly even—" He caught himself before letting slip something he shouldn't in public, and abruptly pressed his lips together, saying no more. ... As for Ye Wangxi, even after being humiliated and insulted so, his lashes were still lowered, and no one could see if it was anger or indignation in his eyes. He gave the onlookers nothing beyond a calm, gentle face, dauntless yet reserved. The atmosphere was uneasy to the extreme. Nan Gongsi looked around awkwardly for a bit before his gaze landed on the woman behind Ye Wangxi. As if to cover up the near blunder just now, he cleared his throat and tipped his chin toward the woman, asking, "Someone you saved?" "Where's she even from? Don't just go bailing out random people." "It's all right. She's from Xuanyuan Pavilion's auction." Nan Gongsi had no interest in the auction, nor did he waste any energy looking into it, but he couldn't help his surprise at hearing that Song Chu Tong was bought from there. His originally unconcerned gaze became sharp all of a sudden as he stared at Song Chu Tong's face for a while, before saying, "So is this thing a slave-boned or a butterfly-boned beauty feast?" In the cultivation world, only two types of people can be openly bought and sold: butterfly-boned beauty feasts and the slave-boned. The slave-boned are those born of the union between humans and demons. People fear the demonic nature of such crossbreeds, so once they're found out, their vital energy is destroyed, and a curse is used to put a slave mark on the bone of their shoulder blades, and they are henceforth condemned to servitude. But the slave-boned don't go for much and are by no means rare. They usually just end up being either servants of the big sects or playthings of the rich and powerful. Xuanyuan Pavilion wouldn't even bother auctioning some run-of-the-mill thing like that. Sure enough, Ye Wangxi replied, "Butterfly-boned beauty feast." Nan Gongzi, suddenly interested, walked past Ye Wangxi to look at Song Chutong, circling around her like he was inspecting merchandise. He frowned. What's wrong with its leg? Is it defective or something? She was injured when they captured her. We applied a salve. It's healing. Ye Wangxi paused. That's why we can't walk around too much and we're hoping to stay here tonight. Nan Gongzi said nothing, only narrowing his eyes before suddenly diving down to the side of Song Chutong's neck and taking a big whiff like some feral wolf. The lecher-like move frightened her so much she paled instantly, frozen in place, clutching her clothes like she's about to faint. Doesn't seem any different from normal people. He rubbed his nose and sneezed, and some kind of perfumed powder. Waving his hand, Nan Gongzi asked offhandedly, "How much?" 50 million. Silver? Gold. Nan Gongzi's eyes shot wide open. Ye Wangxi, are you crazy? Do you know how much top-grade whetstones that is? And you effing buy a woman to bring back to me? What, is Rufeng sex money not money to you? I didn't use the sex money. Ye Wangxi paused for a moment, then continued, and I didn't buy her for you. You... The anger that had only just subsided roared right back to life, and Nan Gongzi snarled, I see how it is. He turned to glare at Song Chutong, getting more irritated the more he looked, and that veil just straight up pissed him off, so he ordered, You, take that shitty rag off your face. Song Chutong, spooked, clutched tightly at Ye Wangxi's sleeve, shrinking behind him and saying in a pitiful voice, Ye Gongzi, I don't want to. Ye Wangxi's slender figure wasn't as tall or muscular as Nan Gongzi, but there was no fear in his eyes as he tilted his head up slightly to look at the other. Young master, since she doesn't want to, just let her be. You talk too much. You saved her, so she owes Rufeng sect her life, and that means she has to listen to me. Take it off. I saved her, yes, but the moment I did, I also set her free, Ye Wangxi said, so please don't force her, young master. Ye Wangxi, what the hell? Nan Gongzi punched the doorframe in anger. What do you take me for? You just really gotta go against me, huh? If I tell her to take it off, then she damn well better take it off. I'll let you guys stay if she takes the damn thing off, or else get the F out. Ye Wangxi only sighed almost imperceptibly before turning to Song Chutong. Let's leave. This time, Nan Gongzi wasn't the only one to choke. Ye Wangxi had the holy weapon with him. There's no way they could let him go just like this. Chuaning immediately said, Go stop him. Okay. Moran was just thinking the same thing anyway, but then he suddenly paused. Shizun, where would he sleep though? He can have half of our room. Moran looked uneasy for some reason. That's probably not a good idea. Chuaning's gaze flicked upward slightly. Why not? There are some things Shizun doesn't know about, but it's best if we don't stay in the same room as him. Besides, he won't agree to it anyway, since he's actually... He was just getting to the important part when he was interrupted by the sound of Nan Gongzi kicking over a table downstairs, cups and dishes clattering to the floor. Then a screech as he dragged the bench over and put his foot on it, bellowing, Who said you could just leave? What are you, revolting or some shit? Get back here. ... Even Nan Gongzi's attendants looked awkward now. Young master, wasn't it you who just told them to get out? But Ye Wangxi seemed long used to Nan Gongzi's unreasonable temper fits, pretending not to have heard anything as he tapped Song Chutong on the shoulder and gestured at her to ignore the crazy person behind him. Ye Wangxi. ... Ye Wangxi. ... Ye Wangxi. The vein at Ye Wangxi's temple twitched, and he looked back despite himself, only to be unexpectedly met with an oncoming wine jar hurtling directly toward him. Pupils contracting, he was just about to dodge when a blur of white flashed in front of him. Ah! A delicate voice cried out in pain, startling everyone in the room, especially Ye Wangxi and Nan Gongzi. Song Chutong had blocked the hit for Ye Wangxi in the nick of time, and was bleeding profusely where the heavy jar of red clay had hit her in the forehead. She touched the blood with a trembling hand, fair as jade, and tears of pain immediately began to fall. Don't touch it, let me see. I'm okay, as long as Gongzi didn't get injured. Can't you talk without throwing things? Ye Wangxi said in a sullen tone, shooting Nan Gongzi a blame-laden glare before turning to his own attendant. Get the Jinchuan medicine. Gongzi, we ran out, the attendant said quietly. Should I go buy some? Nan Gongzi hadn't expected this to happen either. He forced himself to remain calm, but there was a bit of guilt in his eyes. He mumbled with a stiff expression. I have some. Alan, fetch my medicine bag. Ye Wangxi, still angry, pressed his lips into a thin line and ignored him. Nan Gongzi stood there stiffly, holding the little bottle of medicine for a good while, but Ye Wangxi didn't so much as glance at him the entire time. He couldn't let down his pride, so he shoved the bottle roughly at Song Chu-tong instead. Here, use it if you want, I don't care. Song Chu-tong was like a frightened little deer, first looking shakily toward Ye Wangxi, only accepting the medicine when she saw that he was silent but did not stop her, and then even lowered her head in a bow to the person who had injured her, saying quietly, Thank you, Nan Gongzi. Not having expected the girl whose skull he had nearly cracked to thank him, Nan Gongzi was taken aback for a second before quickly snapping out of it and waving a hand with an awkward cough. No problem. That night, Ye Wangxi's group ended up staying at the inn after all. A multitude of candles flickered in the inn like a scattering of stars in the sky. Moran sat by the window with his cheek propped up and his thoughts wandering. It had been nearly 2 years since his rebirth, and so many things have happened quite differently from how they had in the last lifetime. It was strange, watching the same people do different things. Song Chu-tong, Ye Wangxi, Bugui. With the passing of time, these familiar people and objects from his past life had once again reappeared in this life. Only this time, he absolutely will not take Song Chu-tong to be his wife again. As for Ye Wangxi, his name will soon resound throughout the cultivation world, second to none but Chua Ning. And then there was Bugui. Agitation flooded his chest when he thought about the long blade that had accompanied him through his previous life. Shizun. Yes. You've been drawing that talisman for an hour already. Isn't it done yet? Almost, Chua Ning said. By the dim light of the candle, he carefully put down the finishing strokes with a brush dipped in cinnabar to reveal a vivid, elaborate drawing of a soaring dragon. Moran shuffled over to look. What's that? Rising Dragon Array, Chua Ning answered. What does it do? It can detect all spells in the area, big or small. If our mysterious person intends to use the holy weapon to test for spiritual essence, there is sure to be some kind of trace left on the weapon. This way, we'll know if the weapon's appearance was a mere coincidence or part of his plan. Wow, neat! But then why didn't Shizun use this back at Xuanwan Pavilion? You'll understand once I awaken it. Chua Ning pricked his finger and brushed the blood across one of the dragon's scales. The little dragon on the paper instantly began to glow golden, its eyes and tail moving around nimbly. Chua Ning spoke. Are you a real dragon? A squeaky voice came from the paper. Yep, this venerable one is a real dragon. Prove it. Stupid mortal, what's there to doubt? I'll know you to be a real dragon if you can jump out of the page. What's so hard about that? Just give this venerable one a quick sec. Ha! There was a flash of golden light, and a mighty little dragon the size of the palm leaped out the paper, wiggling its body and baring its fangs, and flew a circle around Chua Ning, quite pleased with itself, making a ruckus as it boasted. Ha ha ha! Ha ha ha! I'm a dragon big and real! I know lots of secrets, but I'm not gonna tell you! Chua Ning's eyes, clear as an icy lake, swept coldly over the little eel before covering it under a cupped hand and turning to Moran with a deadpan face. You see? I see. Let go, you stupid mortal! You're messing up this venerable one's whiskies! Oh, whiskies! Oh, that's so cute! Chua Ning lifted his hand and poked curtly at the blood-colored scale at its throat. Shut up and get to work. Author's notes. Nan Gongzi, courtesy name, Wuju, nickname, Nan, occupation, the heir of Rufeng Sec. To put it simply, an officialing. Social appearance, a youthful, handsome talent of the upper cultivation realm who leads hordes of fans. To put it simply, a gangster with a bunch of underlings. Current favorite, Nao Bai Jin. Favorite food, pork ribs. Dislikes, vegetables. Height, 185 centimeters. End of chapter 86. So, to recap, Ye Wangxi and Nan Gongsi get into a bit of an altercation, a verbal fight. Nan Gongsi finds out that Ye Wangxi spent a lot of money to buy Song Chu Tong, and he's really pissed. He's like, first of all, that's an embarrassment to our sect for you to buy something to use for sexual cultivation, and then also 50 million gold? Do you think that our money is made out of water or something? But Ye Wangxi is not fazed and even defers respectfully to Nan Gongsi because of his position. And Song Chu Tong is like scared out of her mind, and she ends up even getting hit in the face by a clay pot that was meant for Ye Wangxi. She jumped in front of it. And so she's injured. Nan Gongsi feels awkward. Ye Wangxi is kind of angry. Moran and Chuaning are still trying to figure out if the sword, Bugui, that Ye Wangxi purchased is real or a counterfeit, and whether or not the person behind the person that's been attacking them and trying to steal spiritual essences is the one behind this sword, or if they're going to be targeting the sword. So let's continue on with the next chapter. Chapter 87. This Venerable One doesn't want you to take any more disciples. The little dragon went and returned like the wind, zooming back in through the window only 10 minutes later to holler, I got it! So many magical traces in this inn! Oh, ha 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 ha! Hey, little eel, what are you? Afraid the neighbors won't hear? Yell louder! Leaning on the table, Moran extended a finger and stroked the little dragon's body. Its tail swung over with a whoosh to smack his hand, but didn't hurt at all, only tickled instead. It was made of paper, after all. Don't touch this Venerable One, you annoying pretty boy! This Venerable One has yet to take a wife. Can't just let you cop a feel like that! I love how cheeky this little paper dragon is. Moran burst out laughing. Oh, wait, what now? A paper dragon like you wants a wife? Wah! Pooh! Who you calling paper, you damn mutt? Huh? How come even you call me that? Is your surname Shue or something? Shue? Idiot brat. This Venerable One is the Dragon of the Candle, mighty and unmatched, splitting the heavens and cleaving the earth, day and night as I open and close mine eyes, summer and winter with the draw of mine breath. My name is Zhu Yin, and don't you forget it. Yeah, didn't get a word of that. Why, yeah. The little dragon did cartwheels in anger, smashing into the candlestick with its little head the width of 2 fingers, making the flame flicker and the wax sway. Moran hurriedly went to steady the candle, but the little paper dragon bit his hand as soon as he reached out. Not that it felt like much of anything, being paper and all. Zhu Yin got picked up by the tail and flung to the side by Moran, going splat against the collars of Chuaning's robes and drooping glumly there. Chuaning! The little dragon lifted one of its whiskies and prodded him weakly. That mangy mutt hit me! Chuaning didn't even feel like wasting any breath on it, peeling it off himself and casually slapping it onto the table. What spells did you find? You gotta call this Venerable One Dragon Taizi 3 times first, then... Chuaning pinned it with a cold glare. Speak. ... The little dragon bloated with anger at the disrespect, its whiskers pointing straight up as it glared at Chuaning with its beady little eyes, that venerable mouth of its hanging half open, huffing and puffing until it heaved up a gush of ink. Chuaning narrowed his eyes. Waste any more ink and I will set you on fire. He reached for its tail as if to dangle it over the fire. Then you'll be a real candle dragon. All right. You win. I'll tell you, all right? Jeez. The little dragon spit a couple more times, sending some more ink splattering while muttering, not at all discreetly. So damn mean. No wonder I never seen no wife, even after all these years. Moran blinked and stuck a glance at Chuaning, grinning cheekily. Didn't Shizun say something about a xianxia? ... Chuaning ignored him, sword brows lowering as he snapped at the little dragon. Less talking, more writing. Sticky man! Plopping onto the writing paper laid out on the table, The little dragon gathered ink in his claws using magic and began to scrawl messily on the page, muttering the whole time. It couldn't be helped that it couldn't simply name the spells that it saw. There was a limit to how much information a brain of paper could process after all. It'd be too much to expect it to figure out what the spells were based on the leftover magical traces, so it could only draw them out. Luckily, Chuaning was more than capable of discerning the original spells, watching the little dragon scrawling along with lowered lashes and naming them as he went. The little dragon drew a waning moon. Chuaning, soothing spell, someone here has insomnia. The little dragon drew the 7 stars of the Big Dipper. Celestial defense array, someone has defenses set up. The little dragon drew a rouge box. Radiant countenance spell. Puh! Maran laughed, raising his hand to say, I know this one, a simple beautification and skincare spell that girls use at night. Probably that butterfly bone beauty feast. Chuaning didn't comment, seeming a bit agitated that every spell so far has been irrelevant and inconsequential. He furrowed his brows and tapped the slender finger against the table. Next. The little dragon drew a heart. Maran wondered, what's that? Heart-clearing spell. Chuaning said, frustrated. It's unimportant. Someone's meditating is all. Next. The little dragon drew a dog head, all crooked. Beast-taming spell. Chuaning put a hand to his brow. You, pick the important spells to draw. Skip the trivial ones for cosmetics and playing with dogs and helping people sleep and whatnot. Next. The little dragon looked up and fumed. Well, aren't you picky? Draw. Out of fear of getting tossed into the candle flame and becoming a real candle dragon, the little paper dragon could only huffily wipe its little claws across the paper again, this time drawing an extremely complicated, mysterious-looking array. Looks like 2 circles with a cross. Wait. Looks like 2 circles with a cross, and then a vertical line straight down. Some kind of yin-yang divination-looking thing? Maran's eyes opened wide. Shizun, could this be what our guy put onto the weapon? No. Chuaning only took one glance, and he could already feel a headache coming on. Voice-changing spell. Oh, what is it for? Some people want to change their own voice, either because they dislike it, or else out of some other necessity. The sound-changing spell lets them do that. It's not a difficult spell. Chuaning paused, then said, but it damages the throat if used for an extended period of time, such that it's very difficult to go back to the original voice. There's something unusual about this spell. I wonder who's using it. But Maran only grinned. Ah, so that's what it's for. Makes sense then. I think Maran knows who is using this spell. He seems to have some inside information. He didn't seem surprised at all. Chuaning sighed and was just about to move on when he paused, eyes flickering as if realizing something, and turned abruptly to look at Maran. Ah, Shizun realized as well. What do you mean it makes sense? Do you know something? What could I possibly know? I was just thinking it's pretty normal for someone to dislike their own voice. Who knows? Maybe it's that song girl. Maybe her voice is actually hoarse and grating, and she wanted to make it sound sweeter. ... Chuaning smoothed down his sleeve, thinking about nonsense all day. Then he turned back to the little dragon. Next. The little dragon drew another heart. Maran. Oi, didn't Shizun just tell you to skip things like heart-clearing spells? Puh, what do you know, brat? The little dragon shot him a seething glare, then suddenly smacked its tail onto the paper, putting an inky blot on the heart, and then proceeding to spread it around until the entire heart was colored black. What's this? Black-hearted spell? Chuaning seemed a little awkward, and was silent for a while before saying, No, it should be an affection spell. What's that? It's similar to the Xuanwan Pavilion's pillow of obsessive affection. Chuaning answered, It bewitches a person to develop feelings of love and affection toward the caster, things like that, generally used by women. Maran opened his eyes wide. No way! Could it be that Song Chu Tong? How would I know such things? Chuaning seemed irate, flinging his broad sleeve and saying, Other people's love affairs are none of my business. Why would I care who's messing around with whom? But Chuaning, are you sure you don't care about this affection spell? The little dragon said gleefully, tail swaying this way and that. This one's pretty interesting if you ask me. If you're willing to call me Dragon Taizhi 3 times, then I'll... Chuaning looked down at it with murder in his eyes. Shut up and draw the next one.
You'll regret this.
Are you going to draw or not? But the little dragon stopped drawing, sitting down with a plop and scratching its belly with his little claw. Chuaning said coldly, What, out of ink?
Idiot, out of spells.
The little dragon rolled its eyes.
I've drawn so many already, and it's still not enough for you? There's no more. That's all there is. This inn is perfectly clean aside from these.
Both Chuaning and Moran's expressions shifted slightly. Moran asked, That's it?
That's it.
Chuaning, there isn't one for assessing spiritual foundations?
Nope.
The master and disciple exchanged a glance, disbelief written on both of their faces. If the mysterious person was using the auction to find another spiritual essence, then he must have put some kind of assessment spell on the holy weapon. But now it appeared that the holy weapon had no spell at all on it? Were they mistaken then? Did the long blade's appearance have nothing to do with the mysterious person? Noting their silence, the little dragon soared into midair and flew around left and right, whining.
Oi, pay attention to this venerable one. Drawing is exhausting, you know. Where's this venerable one's round of applause?
Chuaning was already irritated to begin with. At its hollering, he simply lifted a hand and a sweep of his sleeve and summoned a yellow talisman in the air. The little dragon shrieked miserably at the very sight of it, yelling,
I don't wanna,
but got sucked into the talisman anyway, turning back into a drawing. A tap of Chuaning's fingertip, and the drawing itself also faded slowly away. It kept squeezing its eyes in affront at Chuaning even as it was disappearing. Chuaning said, I'll call you when you're needed. Tears streamed down the little dragon's face.
You only ever remember me when you have need of me. Chuaning, you're heartless.
Get lost already. Chuaning was originally still being civil to it, but his brows dipped in anger at these words, and he folded the talisman flat in half with an unceremonious slap of his hand before tucking it back into his sleeve. Nighttime. Chuaning slept on the bed, Moran took the floor, both troubled with worries. They hadn't expected the holy weapon to be free of any spells whatsoever. Did the mysterious person have some way of gauging spiritual foundation that they didn't know about? Or was he just not in a hurry to find a replacement with strong spiritual energy? Moran. He called to him in the darkness. Moran responded reflexively with a, Huh? Let's go back to Shizun Peak tomorrow. Moran's eyes opened. Huh? If that person would let an opportunity like the Xuanyuan auction to just let slip past, then he probably already has some other method of searching. I'm afraid we won't find out much just carrying on like this. So let's go back to Shizun Peak first. I'll have the sect leader message the other 9 great sects in secret to check for any spiritual essences within their own sects, and to safeguard any that they find. Better than sitting on their hands hoping he just happens to show up. Will that be okay? What if the mysterious person is one of the sect leaders? That's very unlikely, but it doesn't matter even if he is. He already knows we're after him anyway. But how will Shizun make all those sect leaders listen to Uncle? Moran asked, puzzled. Tell them everything? That's not necessary, and they might not believe it anyway. Chuaning replied mildly, I have my ways. Moran asked, which is? I'll take disciples. I'll have the sect leader tell the other sects that the frequent breaches in the ghost realm barrier poses a great danger to all, and that Yuheng of Shizun Peak intends to accept up to 5 additional disciples to train in the use of techniques such as the Shangqing barrier and the Sishua barrier. Chuaning said quietly, those sects have tried time and again to invite me to teach, specifically for these barrier techniques. If I put out the word that I'm willing to impart these techniques, they'll come. And, since I'll accept only those with outstanding spiritual foundations, they'll have to test all of their disciples to select the candidates, thereby fulfilling our goal. But Moran didn't reply, his face going pale in the darkness. You're going to take more disciples? If fate would have it. Chuaning rolled over, his voice quieting as if getting tired. I'll take the names of the candidates and have them practice standard barrier techniques by themselves first. If any among them manage to persevere for 3 years or so, then why not? In the darkness, listening to the voice from the bed slowly drifting off, Moran felt like a jar of vinegar that had been spilled in his chest, so sour it made his heart ache. Take on more disciples? You only ever took 3 in the last lifetime. Picky as you are, how come you're not being picky now? How could you take on more disciples just like that? He kept wanting to say something to him, but every time the words got to his lips, they never got past. Moran is really jealous right now. He wants to be Shizun's favorite disciple. He's worried that if more disciples show up, then Shizun's favor will be passed on to someone else that's not him. Chuaning fell asleep, blissfully unaware of the sea of vinegar raging within Moran. It was cold at night. Moran pulled out an outer garment and got up, calling to Chuaning in a low voice a couple of times to make sure he was really asleep, then quietly opened the door and snuck out of the room. The halls of the inn were still and silent. A few red silk lanterns glowed peacefully with a low light, gentle circles of orange reflecting on the wooden floor like so many ripples. Chuaning may have already tested the holy weapon, but Moran had yet to test his bugui. A holy weapon within 100 feet of its master could be called to his side with a simple spell. Moran didn't get a chance to check if it really was his weapon from the past life back at Xuanyuan Pavilion. How could he possibly miss this chance now? His fingertip glowed with a crimson light. Lowering his lashes, Moran said in a low voice, "Bugui, come!" There was nothing but silence for a few moments, but then the muffled sound of a blade rang out suddenly from somewhere in the distance. The sound was barely audible, but it reverberated in his ears, hammering his heart. Moran's eyes shot open. "Bugui!" It was Bugui! The long blade was struggling, crying blood, its deep roar racing to him across oceans of blood, across lifetimes. It was as if he could hear Bugui weeping and crying for him, but it was trapped, confined by something Moran knew nothing of. It could feel its master's call but could not answer. There was something missing, something severing their connection. But they once had a pact, once saw the beautiful sights from the tallest mountains together, and once waited for death together, in the scent of the last remaining bit of warmth at Wushan Palace. There was something forcing them apart, but still their bonds remained, like tendons linking torn flesh. Moran's eyes were red and welling with tears, whispering, "Bugui, it's you. Why can't you return to my side? Who's stopping you?" Creak. The quiet sound of a door opening, but in this suffocating darkness, it was loud as the crash of thunder. Author's notes. Shizun, wishing everyone a happy Christmas Eve. Dog, have a prosperous year of the cock. Peacock, what nonsense is the one upstairs talking about? I'll wish everyone here an early Happy New Year. Shimei, it's not Christmas yet, so I'll say Merry Christmas first. Wolf Cub, wishing everyone a joyous year of the dog with Nao Bai Jing. Ye Wang Shi, why do I feel like joyous year of the dog sounds like cussing someone out? Mei Han Shui, wishing everyone that they have a beauty to accompany them every day. Little Paper Dragon, look for Zhong Wu Yan when you have problems, and run the Sha Ying Chun when you have none. Chuaning, you shallow-hearted man, let me out now! Oh, I really like the Paper Dragon. It's so cute. End of chapter 87. So, to recap that chapter, Chuaning summons a little paper dragon to check out what kind of magical spells might have been used around the inn, but there seems to be nothing of importance, only spells to make people fall in love, spells to play with dogs, spells to change one's voice, which Moran seems to know who's using that one. So Moran is really suspicious of Song Chu Tong, I believe. He does not trust her one bit because he was married to her in his past life, so he knows that she is not as innocent as she claims to be. Chuaning is surprised to find that the mysterious person that has been trying to attack him and Moran has not issued a spiritual essence related spell around the inn. So Chuaning decided, let's head back to Sishong Peak tomorrow. Instead, my next plan, my plan B, is to issue a decree that I am looking to recruit some disciples to teach them my barrier techniques. That way, we'll be able to test all the prospective disciples and their essences and see if maybe that mysterious person shows up then. But Moran, oh my gosh, Moran is jealous. He is not happy. He is like, you only had 3 disciples in your last life. You are really picky. How can you not be picky this time? I will not accept this. You cannot have more disciples than just me, Shimei, and Shui Meng Meng. And then, while Chuaning is asleep, unaware of Moran's plans, Moran decides to sneak out of the room to go test out Bugoi. He wants to see if that sword really is Bugoi, and lo and behold, it is. But something is sealing it away, making it unable to return to him. So Moran is trying to figure out, how am I supposed to get my sword back? How will he? Well, we'll have to find out next time, I guess. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's read-along, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!